everybody. So we're going to begin with shape up today. So we're going to start off first with the warm up. So we're going to work dynamically through our warm up together, and then we'll progress into some cardio HIIT and focus on some weight training, and hopefully finish off with some core and cool down stretches for today. All right, guys, so we're going to start off first with the squat. So bringing the feet hip width apart, arms out in front, squatting down nice and easy. We're going to aim for 10 repetitions of these. You want to think about bringing the hips out behind you and the arms forward, focusing on number 5, 6, 7, belly nice and tight, 8, 9, and 10. All right, good job. Standing up nice and tall. We're going to do some 3-way leg swings, focusing first on the balance, bringing the leg forward and back. For 3, get the arms in there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, crossing it over for 1, 2, focusing on that balance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, bringing the knee up. We're going to open the hip, so using the glute to help you open the hip to the side. Woo, focusing on that balance for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, changing side, other side. Big lift up, forward and back. Now, if you're finding a little bit of you're having a hard time with the balance, place your hand on the wall or a chair to help you with that balance. 5, get the arms in there. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, cross it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, bring the knee up, opening up the knee to the side, thinking about using the glute to open the knee to the side. So squeezing that butt, a little bit of a rotation through the core. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, good job, guys. All right, so let's bring the feet nice and wide. So we're going to work side to side. So first I'm going to show you the first one where you're folding forward, resting the palms onto the floor, and you're working side to side. You're really going to drive those hips out behind you, focusing on crossing over, bending into the ankles, knees, and hips. Now, if you can't get down this far, simply working side to side in more of the upright position, bending a little bit into the knees, and just working with your comfortable range of motion. So that could be a little bit less in the knees, that could be a little bit more in the knees, just depends really where you're at. Okay, a couple more here. 1, bringing it over for 2, and then coming back to the center, slowly rolling it up, and we walk it in. All right, so around the core, big arms. So you're working the spine here for spinal rotation and moving the head, making sure the head's going with movement. Opening up those arms, so you've got your back, your shoulders, your hips, and breathing. We're aiming for 10. And 3, 2, 1. All right. So let's come back to center, bringing the feet together. We're going to step 1 foot back, pushing the heel to the floor. We're going to pump the heel up and down for 3, 4. So you're bending this front knee, extending and flexing this heel or calf muscle, pumping that up and down. All right, let's change sides. Over to the other side, pushing that heel to the floor. You're going to feel that stretch right away back there. And then pumping that heel up and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, good job, guys. Okay, coming back to center, stretching out the quadriceps. We're gonna bring the left leg behind. You're gonna bring that heel towards the glute, and then reaching the opposite arm up towards the sky. So you wanna work dynamically, so you don't wanna stand and hold it for too long. You wanna switch side to side. Now, if we were doing static stretching at the end, we'd be holding the stretches much longer. But here we're trying to get the body, we're trying to get the mind and the body to connect. So nerves, muscles, everything to get prepared for workout. And remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. And then sometimes, you know, our range of motion, some of us can't get our leg all the way back there. It's a little bit difficult. So just simply maybe resting the hand on the wall, bringing the leg back, flexing it where you can. If you can't really reach back there, but just enough to get a little bit of a stretch in the front of that leg. All right, working through the upper body, open that chest, bending through the elbows. So opening the chest, stretching the back. We're going to aim for 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, circling forward. Let's start with big circles around those shoulder joints. And bring it down to medium-sized circles. And small circles. And then reverse going small, medium, and large. Big stretch. Reach it out. All right. Good. And then big reach up to the sky. Good. Maybe you throw some calf raises in there, lifting it up. Big squeeze. And remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. And of course, wrist circles. So since we're going to be doing some gripping of the weights, we want to throw in the circles of the wrists and in the other direction. And pointing the fingertips down and up and down and up. And then maybe throwing some shoulder rolls in there. And I'm working in the reverse movement. Now I'm going to work in the forward movement. Getting both directions. All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to some cardio warm-up. So we're going to begin first. I'll always show you the high impact movement, and I will show you the low impact movement. So I'll always give you the variations as we work through them together. First one we're going to begin with is going to be high knees. So here's your high impact high knees. And then here's your low impact high knees. So nice and high, getting those arms in there. So big arms. You can even step nice and wide in those movements, or narrow and wide, so you can combine the movements together. I always suggest too, if you like a little bit of the higher impact, but you can't do it for the full time that we're working, maybe do a little bit of high, a little bit of low, okay? All right, so I'll coach you through it. I won't be doing the exercises the entire time frame, but we're gonna work for 30 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. We have a total of 8 exercises to do. So get yourselves ready, guys. We're gonna pump this out nice and strong. Starting in 3, 2, 1, here we go. So nice high knees. So we have the high impact, and then we have our low impact. So pumping that out. And everything's gonna be timed during our training. I won't be counting reps. So everything's gonna be timed. It could be 30 seconds of work, it could be 40 seconds of work. I'll give you those little rest periods in between. You've got 5 seconds left on this set. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's bring it into kicking the butt, Bringing those heels back. Here's your low impact. Here's your high impact. Here we go, either high or low, or mixing the two together. A little bit of low, a little bit of high maybe. So pumping that out nice and strong, guys. And remember to breathe, don't hold the breath, of course. And we have 10 seconds left. 8, pumping that out, keep it going, guys, don't give up. So if you need to regress, bring it down to the lower movement. Okay, 10 seconds rest. We're gonna try the jumping jack. So we've got high impact and low impact. Low, high. So like I said, you can mix match the high and the lows. So you maybe pump in a couple low impact and then bring it up to some high. Okay, low. Just keep going. Remember to regress where you have to. You got to rest in that time that we're working. Take a rest. No pressure. All right, so we've got switch stances. Here's your high impact switch stance. Okay, and then we've got the low impact switch stance. So forward and back. Get the arms in there. Don't make them stiff. You want to work those arms too. High impact, get that coordination. Keep those knees soft. Remember, don't walk out the knees. 14 seconds, guys. So pump that out nice and strong. Working it out. Feeling good right about now. The heart rate's elevated. Good, all right. Resting, so we got halfway mark. Now we're gonna work on squat. Here's your low impact. So driving those hips back. And then you've got your high impact jumps. Okay, so again, comfortably working with the range of motion and the intensity level. Okay, so maybe a little bit of jumping, maybe a little bit of the low impact. You guys can mix it up how you like. So keep that going, guys, nice and strong. Working it out and breathing. 5 seconds. Don't give up yet. Listen to that timer. Good, resting. All right, football shuffle, wide, maybe some narrow ones. Okay, so to make this one higher intensity, you can go quicker and slower for the lower intensity, wide, narrow. You can change up the various movements. So again, faster, slower, wide, narrow. Abs nice and tight, keep the knees soft. Get the arms in there, pump them out. And we're almost there, guys. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pointing the toes out. We're going to come into sumo squat down and up. Down and up. So focusing on pushing through the heels of the feet. Keeping the back up nice and tall as you do the squat down. Driving the knees out towards the baby toes. So keeping the chest up, pushing through the heels of those feet. You really want to feel this in the inside thighs. Working through the quads. So let's keep it going nice and strong, 5 seconds. Good, all right, we're gonna bring it down to the floor for mountain climber. Here's your high impact movement. And then here's your low, so knees in and out. Alternatively, you can do this against the wall. You're on that angle. You can do a low impact movement. All right, so nice and strong. Jumping in the part in and out for high intensity. Low intensity, you're just doing the stepping. And the extra low intensity you can do against the wall. This is our last set. In 4 seconds, you're going to finish. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, good. All right, so good job, guys. Let's grab a drink, take a rest, and then we're going to move on to the next round. Okay. Okay, so we're going to focus next on a mix of things. So you will need your dumbbells, your body weight, and grab yourselves a mat if you have one as well. All right. Okay, so for the first exercise, what we're going to do here is we're going to focus on a combination of a bicep curl and and a tricep kickback. So viewing from my side, we will do the bicep curl first, coming down, folding over, tucking the elbows in to do the kickback portion, and then standing back up to do the curl portion, followed by bending over into that kickback exercise. Now, a couple tips here before I let you go on the timer. Now, you want to make sure that when you're doing your bicep curl, that the elbow stays tucked into the side. When you're doing that curl up and down, you don't want to swing that elbow forward. And secondly, when you're in that kickback position, start the dumbbell here up by the shoulder, keep the elbow tucked in, and bring the arm all the way back to focus on the back of the arm here, okay? All right. So again, we're gonna focus on the timer here. We're also gonna do 40 seconds of work with a 15-second transition time. All right, so we've got quite a few things to do. We'll go for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 exercises. All right. So starting in 4 seconds, get ready. Okay, so curl the arm, bend over, elbow tucked in, tricep extension, stand up, curl the arm, bend over, tuck the elbows in, full tricep extension, stand up, curl, elbow tucked in, bring that arm all the way up, all the way back. So keep it going, guys. Just making sure that that elbow isn't moving past your back. So you don't want it resting up here. You want it tucked right into the side. Just making sure that you get the full range. Up, back, up, stand up. Good. Okay, rest now. You have 15 seconds. We're going to take the dumbbell right into the chest. We're going to squat down, press away, back up. Okay, so feet are hip width apart. You're going to drive the hips back. Here we go. Pressing that dumbbell out. Bring it in, lift up. Bring it out. In as you stand up in the squat. Out and back in. So keep that going now. If you're having a hard time holding that dumbbell up there, make sure that you lower the weight. Make sure that the form is done properly. Don't get too lazy with the arms starting to lower down as you get tired. So just lower the weight. Okay, looking good. 8 seconds. Remember to breathe. Okay, so laying flat on your belly, we're going to do snow angels, bringing the fingertips to the temples, drawing a big circle with the arms, flip the palms up, touch the lower back. Then come back the same way that you went. So palms come around, face them up halfway, touching to the lower back, and then back around. So you want to keep that going, lifting the chest off the mat, engaging the lower back, pointing the toes behind you, getting the glutes, and breathing. So keep that going, guys. Nice and strong. So we're going to stay on the mat after this exercise, so you don't need to worry about getting up. Again, really just focusing on that movement. Okay, bird dogs, next up. So we're on all fours. We're going to extend out, bring the elbow to the knee, extend out again, then come back to the mat. Switch sides, extend, elbow to the knee, extend again, and back to the mat. All right, so go when you're ready. You're really extending that arm and leg out, elbow to knee, extend again, back to the mat. So pumping that out. Now, when you're in that tabletop position, you want to think about squeezing the abdominal wall down there. So squeezing that wall. Don't let that belly just relax and hang out. So nice big lift, elbow to knee, extend, and back down. Okay, 5 seconds left, guys, and we're going to change it up. I'm going to have you come back to your feet. All right, so so bringing one dumbbell to the chest, we're gonna work on side lunge. So stepping to the side, come back to center, and then the other side. So side to side. So just remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Okay, so now when you're working side to side like that, you're making sure that when you step into it, that the knee tracks a little bit behind the toe, and you can bend just as much as you feel comfortable bending in. You come back to center, and then you change sides, changing sides. Working the inside thighs, the outside thighs, the tops of the thighs, a little bit of the butt. 5 seconds. All right, so standing, we're gonna do some reverse flies for the delts. So standing bent over, flattening the back, arms come in front, and big lift out to the side. Okay, you can also do this one in a seated position as well. So you'd be in the bent over position. So if you had a chair, you would just be in that bent position, making sure that the back stays flat and the arms are coming out to the sides. Okay, common mistake, you don't fly the arms behind you, you fly them in line with the shoulder. So make sure you do a little self-check in your peripheral vision that you can see the arm, the palm here at the side as you lift. Okay, 5 seconds left. Okay, so back down to the floor, guys, laying on your back. We're gonna do bridge glute lifts. All right, cross one leg over. My ankle's resting on the top of the knee. Lifting up through the one leg. Lower back down. Breathe out as you lift. Lower back down. Breathe out. Push through the heel of the foot and back down. So the heel of the foot, you're making sure that you're pushing that into the mat here. You can also draw the big toe up towards the shin. Squeeze that butt. And then lower back down. All right, then changing it over. Getting ready, we're going to change it over after the set. And it's breathing. All right, and then here we go, big lift up. Just waiting for that rest period first. We're just changing sides, crossing the ankle over the knee. Getting ready. Okay, here we go, big lift. Good, now the knee that's bent, you want to try to relax it as much as you can away from you. So allowing it just to fall open to the side. Breathing out, squeeze that butt. Nice big lift up. Let's keep going, guys. This is the last set on this round. Then we're going to go back. We're going to repeat that round. So this is this program piece is the core of our exercise program today. So as you can see, we're doing a big mix of things. Good, and rest. So we're doing a mix of things. We're working on the core, so back and abs. We're working on the upper body, and we're doing a little bit of the lower body as well. Okay, so you're taking a rest now. You're grabbing a quick drink, just allowing that heart rate to relax a little bit. And then we're going to go back to the beginning. So while you're resting, I'm going to demo what that beginning was again, just to refresh your memory. Okay, so we did the tricep bicep combination. So we're in that bent over position. Elbows are tucked in. We bring the arms in, back out, stand up, curl, back over, tricep again, all the way up. See, I brought them all the way up to the shoulder. Then I stood up and slowly lowered the arms down. Then I curled my arms again, okay, for biceps. Now let's get ready, get back into position, take your weight, make the adjustments with the weights where needed. All right, starting in 4 seconds. So curl, bend over, tuck it in, stand up, curl, fold over, curl, extend, stand up, curl, fold over at the hips, elbows tucked in, full arm extension. Tell me that out. Okay, for 10 seconds more. Let's keep it going, guys. Okay, we got one dumbbell. We're going to bring the feet hip width apart, squatting down, extend the arms out, bring it back in as you come up. Stand out, bring it back in as you come up, reach, and bring it back up. So really sticking that butt out, keeping those abs tight, right? Just taking a double check of the feet, making sure that when you look down at them, you can see that the feet are hip width apart. Those arms come out as you lower down, push them out, back up with your dumbbell or just your body weight. So it's again your choice whether you're working with a little bit of weight or not. Okay, so just to prepare you after this set, we're getting back onto the floor to do some snow angels. Okay, laying on the belly, hands to the temples, drawing around, flipping the palms up, touching the lower back, and then come back the same way you went around. Okay, so keeping the chest off the mat will help you engage the back muscles. Remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice big squeeze. Okay, keeping the chest off the pad will help you engage that back. You can also lift the toes off the floor. That'll also engage the glutes in the back and the hamstrings if you want a little bit more out of that exercise. Okay, almost there, guys. Okay, coming into tabletop, we're going to extend the arm and leg, draw the elbow to the knee, extend arm and leg, then change sides. Extend, elbow to knee, extend, back to the mat. So it's just important that you take your time, reach through the sole of the foot, reach through the fingers, draw the elbow to the knee, round the back, extend again with control, then change sides. So it's important to keep the abs nice and tight, working through the opposite arm and leg. Okay, so 15 seconds left, guys. Almost there. Pumping those out. Okay, so let's come back to dumbbell resting in the chest. We're going to do side lunge. Come back to center, other side. Come back to center, other side. So keeping that chest up as you come forward or stepping to the side, stepping to the side. So my body's on a slight angle. All right, and just remember that when you're stepping, you're just coming into whatever comfortable bend that knee does for you, okay? All right, so we're 15 seconds. I'm almost there. Working that out. All right. Okay, so I've gone to a little bit of a lighter weight now. I'm in that bend position. We're going to do the reverse fly. So this works the posterior deltoid, or commonly known as the shoulder back here. So nice big lift. Remember what I said now, when you're lifting that dumbbell out to the side, you want to see the dumbbell and the fist in that peripheral vision. So if it's back here, you're not going to see the dumbbell in the fist. So you want to keep a little bit of a bend in the elbow. You're working that arm right out to the side and lowering it down. So this, don't forget that this one can also be done in a seated, bent over position. So if your back bothers you a little bit, or you're really tight in the hamstrings, you'll find that it just pulls in general. So have a seat. Okay, next up, we're going to do some cross-legged bridges. Okay, these are the last two exercises on this round. So bringing the arms out to the sides, pressing the sole of the foot into the mat. So big lift up and down, up and down. So when you're doing this now, making sure that you're pushing through the sole of the foot that's on the floor or the heel of the foot. Big lift up, arms are to the side to support you. Breathing out as you lift and lower down. Squeeze that butt and lower down. Almost there now, keep it going, don't give up. Lots of control. Good, okay, crossing it over. Getting ready. Last set. And lifting up, pushing through the heel of the foot. Lower back down. Draw maybe the big toe into the shin on that stationary foot. You'll feel a little bit more work through the hamstring. And breathing out. And back down. So breathing out. And back down. Let's keep that going. That's the last set on that round before we take another rest. And then I've got it set up that we're going to do 3 sets total of this one. So we got one more round to do together. And then we'll focus, and rest. We'll focus on some core work. We'll focus on some cool down stretches next. So grab a drink, get the heart rate down a bit, and then I'm going to refresh your memory coming back to the first exercise. Okay, so we begin with the feet hip width apart. We curl the arms, fold forward, kick it back, and then lifting back up again. So curling the arms, lower down, fold forward, bring the dumbbells in, kick them back, bring them in again, and then slowly lower them down as you lift up, okay? All right. Okay, so let's get into position for that. So remember, we're starting in that bicep position. Okay. All right, so get my trusty timer here. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we've got that arm curl, folding forward, kicking it back. Slowly lower the arm as you lift up, curl the arm again. Lower down, take it back, okay? All right, so there's quite a few steps involved in that one to make that form just right. So take your time thinking it through. You got the arm curl, arm down, fold forward, tuck the elbow in, extend the arm, bring it back, and slowly lower down as you lift up. You got this, piece of cake. Okay, so next up, we're going to do feet hip width apart, drawing the dumbbell to the chest. Press out and in, out and in. Okay, so just remember to pick an appropriate weight for that exercise, because when you push it out, it's going to be heavy if you go too heavy, right? You can also do it without weight. You can squat it down, press it out, bring it in. So use the muscles, right? Squeeze into the back, push the arms out, squeeze the arms, squeeze the chest, and bring it in. You can get still a good workout if you're contracting the muscles correctly during the exercise without the weight, okay? So it's just using the mind and the muscles and the nervous system, make them all connect together. All right. So let's bring it down to the floor. We're going to do snow angels next. You guys should be experts now. Laying on your belly, lifting the chest, fingertips to the temples, arms out, palms up, touch the lower back, and then come back. So here we go. And again, you can incorporate the lower body by lifting the toes off the floor. You're engaging those glutes, that lower back. Remember to breathe. Don't hold the breath. Go squeeze that out. Nice and strong, guys. Okay, so we're going to stay on the mat for the next one as well. Coming up, we got that bird dog movement. So you're almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, coming into bird dog. Okay, knees under the hips, palms under the shoulders, extend, opposite arm and leg. Knee to elbow, extend again, change sides. All right, other side. Opposite arm and leg, elbow to knee, round the back, extend, and back down again. All right, now it's important to remember to draw the belly in when you're doing this, so you're contracting the abdominal wall. Don't just let the abs hang out and relax. You really gotta focus on contracting the core muscles to make everything work. You got shoulder stabilization here happening. You got hips, you have balance, you have control, keeping the abs nice and tight. All right. Okay, so now we're going to bring it back up. We're going to do those side lunges again. So bringing the dumbbell to the chest, and we're going to step to the side, back to the other side. So just remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. So if you're looking at me from the side view, when I step to my side, I slightly flex forward, and then I come back to center. So it's just important when you're doing this one where you step to the side, but now your weight is shifting, so you really want to push through that foot and that leg. You want to squeeze it off, right? Squeeze the leg, push through the sole of the foot to come back. Engaging the muscles the way they should be engaged. Good, all right, so next up we're going to do some flies. So I lowered my weight for these ones. Bending over, flying my arms out to the side, breathing out. Okay, so we talked about that peripheral vision, right? So if I'm bringing my arm out to the side and I can see my dumbbell in my fist, then I know that my arm is in the correct position. If I'm back here, I won't be able to see that. So make the adjustment. This one also too is a weaker muscle for a lot of people, okay? Because you're engaging the muscle back here. This is your part of your shoulder joint. So when you extend that arm, it tends to be on the weaker side. Make sure that you are picking the appropriate weight to make that movement. All right, so cross-legged bridges. So crossing the ankle onto the top of the knee, we're going to do lifting up, lowering down, really pushing through the heel of that foot. Okay, then you can also bring the big toe to the shin and concentrate on pushing through the heel. So you're just right on the heel, but the foot is off the floor. Lifting up and down. Okay, so that's 2 variations. This one can be the harder variation. The flat foot is the easier variation. All right, and of course, we're going to pump off those, and then we're just going to change sides, making this our last round. So nice and strong, guys. Working that out. Good. Okay, let's change sides. So crossing leg over to the other side. So getting ready. Okay, big lift up and lower down. So lifting up, lower down. So again, just making sure that you're pressing through the heel of the foot, or you're bringing the big toe to the shin and then putting more concentration onto the heel here. Makes it harder. So big lift up, breathing out, and lowering down. All right. This is the last set on this one. Then we're going to change up our little routine. So we got 3 seconds left, guys. All right, good. Okay, so let's grab a drink, rest up, and then we're gonna change it up. Okay. Hope you guys are feeling pretty good. Let's move into a little bit of core work, and we'll see where we're at, and then I'll make a decision on what we're gonna do from there. Okay. So we're going to get onto the mat. We're going to start off with some abs first. So we're going to bring our time down to 30 seconds of work. And I'll give you a 10-second transition time, but everything's on the mat anyways. I just need time to explain stuff. Okay, so first exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to lay flat on the back. And we're going to start off with something a little bit on the simpler side, bringing the arms to the sides. And I'm going to have you just do the basic curl up first. Now, it's important to make sure that the lower back connects with your mat so that there's no hole here. So you shouldn't be able to jam your hand in here. You got a pelvic tilt, making sure that the lower back connects with your mat. We're going to breathe out, lift up, and lower back down. Now, for me, I can lift all the way up in my crunch without recruiting any other muscles like my feet, my hips, things like that. So make sure that you're only going up as far as you can maintain the good form. Okay. All right, so let's get ready. Starting in 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Breathing out, lifting up. Lowering down. Breathing out, lowering down. So try to control going down. Try to go slower. Power up maybe, and then slow on the way down. All right. Okay, feet to the sky, arms out to the side. We're going to lift the hips. So lifting the butt and the lower back off the floor. Pushing those soles of the feet up and down. Remember to breathe out as you push the feet up. Go slow on the way down. So let's keep that going. We're almost there. Okay, sitting in a V sit, drawing the palms to the heart center. We're going to bring the left elbow to the left knee for the whole set. Left elbow to the right knee for the whole set. So your opposite arm and leg. Okay, so now you're working right in those obliques here, and because you're sitting in that V sit, you're going to feel right here in the rectus abdominis muscles. So you're getting a little bit of both here, plus you're also getting your stabilizers in your back. All right. Good, okay, rest, and then we'll change sides. So resting those palms at the heart center. My toes are up. Okay, and right elbow to left knee. So remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. Ten seconds. Almost there. Okay, so we're going to come into plank. So we've got our different variations of plank. So resting at the knees, you got to keep that butt down, tucking the toes underneath, coming into the higher plank. Maybe just resting the palms together, but you're resting on your forearms, keeping the butt down, the back is flat, abs are tight. So if you need to regress, you can lower to the knees, resting the tops of the feet onto the mat. So being where it's most comfortable for you. You have 7 seconds. Pump that out, guys. You got this. All right, so laying on the floor, on your belly. We're going to do Supermans, where you're going to do 1, 2, and then switch. 1, 2, switch. 1, 2, switch. So just remember it's opposite arm and leg. Breathing out. So let's keep that going nice and strong, guys. You have 8 seconds. Okay, laying on your back, you can begin with the bicycles. To make it harder, hands at the temples, lifting the upper body up, cycling through, pointing those toes, big stretch. Remember to breathe, maybe pause as you extend, make it harder. So many variations that you can focus on. So resting on your back if you need to regress or you want to start more of a level 1. Okay, resting on the forearms, fingertips are facing the feet. We're going to bring the legs out in front. We're going to crisscross the legs and lift. And lower. Down. And up. This is the last set on this one. So nice big lift up. So just keep that going, guys. Almost there. All right, okay, let's rest up. So let's grab a quick drink, rest up. We're just gonna go through something for the back of the body. I like this little one, it gives more of an emphasis on the back work. So some of the exercises do repeat themselves a little bit, but that's okay because repetition is good, right? Okay, so first one we're gonna do, we're gonna come back to the snow angel exercise. So again, you're gonna be in that face down position on the mat. Fingertips are gonna be touching the temples, and you're gonna reach the arms around, palms come up, touch to the lower back, and then back around again. So you can leave your chest off the floor while lifting the feet off the floor as well. Or you can keep the feet, the toes connected to the floor. Okay, so we have, let me see here, what do I have for you? We've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 exercises. I'll keep this at the 30-second working mark. All right, so let's get ready, get into your position. Here we go. Reaching it around. So lifting maybe those toes off the floor, keeping the chest off the floor, looking a little bit ahead, looking down at your mat. Keep it going. 4 seconds, guys, don't give up. Okay, coming into all fours, we're going to extend the leg and arm opposite, elbow to knee, all the same side. So working all the same side. Elbow to knee, rounding the back, extending the arm and leg, okay? So make sure that when you bring the arm up, the arm is coming up to the ear height. And when you do the leg part, make sure that the leg extends so it's not still partially bent. Everybody does that. They don't do a full extension of that leg. Draw the big toe into the shin. Okay, changing sides, resting first. So nice big reach. Elbow to knee, reach. Elbow to knee, reach. Okay, really focusing on long arm and leg. Okay. Keep the abs nice and tight. Don't hold your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Okay, laying flat, we're going to do Superman, so bringing the arms out, and an opposite arm and leg. Lifting up. Let's keep it going. All right. So just keeping the head neutral, looking down at your mat. Don't strain the neck. Okay. So coming into plank with the arms and legs extended, one variation is to do one limb lift at a time. Okay, now if you're feeling really good and you think you can do this one, you can do 2 limbs at a time. So opposite arm and leg, not the same side. So opposite arm to leg, big lift. Spreading the feet nice and wide, get some good balance on your base. If you can't do that one, that's fine. You can also come to table. You can do 1 limb at a time. All right, so next up, we're going to come into that plank again. We're going to do some shoulder taps, side to side. You can also rest at the knees, shoulder tap side to side, and you can also do it in box or table, shoulder tap side to side. So we have one more exercise after this one, and then we're going to cool it down. We're going to be laying flat again on the belly after this exercise. Bringing the arms out to the sides, you're going to flutter the arms. Now, if you want to work the glutes in there, you can move the feet up and down or hold the feet up, toes pointing out. So now you're just working the rear delts, guys, the posterior shoulder muscle. Okay, so we're almost there. 4 seconds. Okay, good, and rest. All right, nice work, guys. Let's draw the soles of the feet together, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to focus on the groin stretch. So nice work so far. You guys are doing awesome. I hope you're enjoying the workout. So sitting up nice and tall, relax the shoulders. Remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. All right. Okay, so extending the legs, we're going to bring them out in front, sitting up nice and tall through the spine. We're going to reach forward, fold forward, look down at the knees. Breathe, don't hold the breath. So just reaching where you can. So that could be here at the sides, that could be at your knees, that could be the ankles. All right, let's gently roll it up. Okay, so we're going to take the right leg, cross it over the left, make sure it's resting above the kneecap. So above the kneecap, not on the kneecap or not below the kneecap. Rest your palms here behind you, bend your knee. So we're stretching your right glute. Try to relax your right knee away from you, pressing it away towards the floor, just moving it this way, away from the chest. I repeat myself a lot when I teach because sometimes not everybody hears me the first time. So I do repeat myself quite a bit to make sure that you're hearing the correct instructions. That's important because you're training on your own. We're not here to give you direct personal one-to-one direction is essential that the directions are repeated many times. Okay, extending the legs, shaking them out. Okay, crossing the leg over, again, resting above the kneecap, bending at the right knee now, opening up the left knee away from you. Okay, so don't let it hug into the chest. It could be tight. You're probably feeling, oh, my hip's really tight. You can adjust that by just moving this bent knee away from you a little bit. So stretching it out. Breathe, breathe. All right. So let's release that. We're going to come into that groin stretch again, sitting up nice and tall. You're going to take your left palm, bring it to your right knee, just touch it. You don't need to grab onto it, and bring the right palm behind you, taking just a gentle twist. Come back to center, change sides. Just a gentle twist through the core, the head follows through, looking over the left shoulder. Remember to breathe, don't hold the breath. Good, come back to center, bring the knees together. We're gonna lay flat on the side of your body. So stretching your quadricep muscle, bringing the heel towards the glute. Stretching that out. And release. And you guys can just roll over and change sides, but I'm just gonna change sides this way so that I'm facing you. And then you're drawing the heel towards the glute, stretching the quadricep on the opposite side. That's good, and relax. We'll bring it up. I want you to round the back like a mad cat, press away from the floor. Drop the belly down. All right, walk it back up. Okay, let's come to a standing position. We're going to rotate the wrists and the other direction. And big lift up. And slowly to lower it down, bringing the fingertips behind, interlocking the fingers, opening the chest. Draw the shoulder blades together. And breathing. Good, and relax. Okay, let's shake it out. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed the workout today. I hope it lifted you up and you feel good and energized. And we'll see you in the next round. So have a great one, guys. Take care. Have a good day.